am just getting, oh, that sounded like I was from Alabama or something. I am, oh my goodness, that's silly, silly. All right, I'm just going to play some of this, a little instrumental music, because I like to have music for me. And let's get the live stream shared up on Twitter. I hope you're having a great Monday. It is Monday, July 18th, and I am just waiting for the channel to load the link, and I'm just muting some of the rooms over here. So big things happening. Lots of big crazy prints. Lots of good stuff going on. All right. Streaming. Lots of metal stuff. I did, if you guys know Juicy Trades, I was on his spaces last night on Twitter, second week. Thankful that he was having me. Lots of good stuff, lots of traders collaborating together and sharing their viewpoints on what they are seeing in the market. So you guys know, oops, that's not what I wanted. You guys know that I do follow the dark pools. Just did a little short on YouTube all about, there we go, the big one that I am watching. If you guys were listening last night on the Twitter Spaces, you know that it is SPXU. So we will talk about that today. Come and check us out at thedarkpools.com to learn more about trading around the dark pools. And let's get this going. Hey, Terry, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's put this up. So reminder, yes, if you guys want to join the dark pools to learn about trading around the dark pools, shorting, options, ETNs, ETFs, stocks, IPOs, floats, you name it, we pretty much cover it there. Software as well, like we aren't going to leave you hanging. So let's look at the SPY today, right? I have the 24-hour chart up right over here. You can see it's had a wide range, right? We went from a high of 479 down to 387. That's a 100-point move in 7 months, right? 100-point move. That's pretty big for the SPY, especially to the downside. When we look at that, we see that we have had a nice little correction. Our low is 24%. Right now, we're hanging just above 19% on that downward drawdown for the market. When we look at it on our weekly, we can see this is definitely in a downward trend. As the saying goes, don't fight the Fed. Well, the Fed is definitely in contraction mode. We do have a bit of an upward trend here. This first orange yellow line is the opening of 2021. So we've tested that a couple of weeks, right? We started this week above it, dropped below. And then this past month, we've just sort of been stagnant. Now, I did talk about SPXU as the stock to watch, or it's actually an ETN, not one recommended to trade, but you're going to see why, right? This is the ultra short because we've had a little bit of dark pool activity. And typically, when we see the SPXU, it's typically always going down. Well, as we've had that downward turn in the market, we're seeing that this has sort of actually created a megaphone. Now that I'm looking at it on our weekly chart, I totally see that we have a megaphone that is setting up here, huh? Look at this, from this doji, right? So if this holds true, right, of this megaphone that we are seeing, that next move could put us 27, depending on when it happens, right? 27, 25 potentially. If we do have a close on the daily chart up above 21, I am going to be bearish on the market. If we have a close below 18, I will be bullish on the market, right? This is the biggest thing I'm looking at right now. for this month, we have been churning sideways. Hasn't really gone anywhere. So keep an eye, right? Is it time, in my opinion, to go to cash if you are a longer term holder, or is it time to buy in? I'm not convinced it's time to buy in yet. We also have some major people in court. JP Morgan, two of their commodities traders on manipulating the price of commodities. Let's see, JP Morgan commodities. Court. Should be enough for it to come up. Ex JP Morgan traders spoofed trades were genuine. JP Morgan pays. This is, here we go. Gold Desk cheated the market with spoofing. That's not good to hear, right? And the SEC is just 3 ex-precious metals employees on trial for fraud. Was JP Morgan manipulating the price of metals? Oh no, heaven forbid, right? Finally, the SEC is stepping up and protecting the little guy, right? They're finally, look at this, 50,000 times over nearly a decade. There's 365 days in a year. Let's do this. There's 252 trading days. 50 divided by 252, 198. What? 198 years if they did it once a day. And they did it in a year. Okay, so then that means, right? 50,000 divided by 10, divide that by 252, 20 times a day. They were spoofing on average. 20 times a day they were spoofing on average. And people still don't believe that the market's manipulated and rigged, right? You've got these metals traders that are on trial for fraud over this. They did it over a decade, right? I saw people trading for 20 years doing this. All right, so let's keep an eye out to see where we go here, right? And let's look at the indexes, everything, right? Each morning at 8 a.m. live during the summer, I am creating my watch list. Let's put this on a 24-hour chart and a 45-minute over on the right. We'll check on it. So what am I doing on my watch list, right? If you are new to watching my live stream, whoopsies, then you will see each morning I am creating a watch list for, hey, if this gaps higher and it continues and it's a bullish trade, then I'm going to watch it above 389.50. If this moves down, fills the gap. Yeah, Walton, you know what? In my opinion, depending on what you have in that safety deposit box, it might be safer in a safe that you get delivered to your house. What happens if they lock the doors of those banks? We're seeing that 4 out of 5 different evergrande, real estate investors in China were delisted from the Hang Seng. Banks they do not have enough cash in China. That hasn't happened in North America yet, that people have had a run on the banks like they tried to do in China. If they don't have any money, the banks can shut their doors, just like the crypto exchanges shut down their withdrawals, right? People don't think it's going to happen, but they didn't think it would happen either back in 1929. This is setting up to be worse than 1929, in my opinion, right? So, in my opinion, keep that precious stuff with you in a heavy safe that nobody can walk out of the house with, right? So let's look at the SPY. So the SPY today pulling down 85% of the time. We want to have a test of that close from the prior day. So looking at it, we would see, hey, we are headed down to potentially test 385. I would also look for it to come down here, maybe 383 area. I really love the 161 and 200 EMA on the 45-minute chart, so I would watch for that, guys. Check to see. I just got to change my screen here so that it doesn't waste my battery. All right, there we go. So watch out for that on the SPY. Let's look at the Qs today. Breaking down, not breaking down to the same extent as the SPY, right? This has not given us that bearish move potential yet. It came and tested, but we're going sideways. Today very much feels like a positioning day, getting ready for a bigger move this week. So let's look at Forex Factory. What's going on the calendar for this week? Today, we don't have too much. At 4 p.m., we have long-term purchases of the securities instruments by the Treasury. Tomorrow, we have building permits and housing starts. Housing starts in Canada is lower by 11,000 as projected. We just had a 1% interest rate hike up here. We will see the UK unemployment rate come out tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we're going to see existing home sales, oil numbers. That's it. It's a pretty light week for the US for announcements. Next week is going to be more impactful with FOMC on Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the 27th, and then the federal funds rate. So this week could be a bit more of positioning, getting ready for major moves that are going to be setting up next week. We have seen a lot of sideways price action since we had our last announcement, our last FOMC meeting. So looking to see if we will break out of those levels. We're testing resistance levels here. Is this going to be a test and sell again? Let's look at the Russell 175. We had a 330,000 share print at 175.82 today. That's right here at the point of control for our volume profile. So as long as we stay below that, I'm looking for this to move to the downside. We also have Dow Jones Industrial Average almost closed the gap today, not that far away, still 90 cents away. We had a bigger move up, but to me, these are pops to sell into, in my opinion. All right, let's look at Apple today. It was on the potential long list for the day. Right, let's also check out Amazon. We also had Google that had their 20-for-1 split on Friday. It has pulled back a little bit today off of that movement. Amazon is definitely popping again. This looks very similar to the Q's chart overall. DWAC is down just a little, down 1% over here. It has a bit of a cup and handle, so I would look for this to break out up above 3150. I'm actually going to set an alert there. 3150 moving up, right? It had a pop after Musk canceled his deal. He said he was going to cancel his deal. It popped up, came back to the averages, and is slowly curling up. I want to see a close above 3150 on DWAC. Apple, oops, not NEO. Apple today, somewhat range bound. We had a little drop down at open down to that 24 EMA. We're seeing that we had a big move up. You can see that the dots really spread apart, that it was a really big acceleration, and now it's slowing down. We have some flattening of the moving average. We've seen that the 4 has crossed over the 8 and is about to cross over the 15 as well. So looking for this to come back. Again, we might see this pull all the way back down to 146.60 on Apple before it finds support there. Microsoft as well accelerated with a high this week, and now we are testing very close to a trend line, right? We hit the 24 EMA on the daily. We are churning sideways. Remember, Apple and Microsoft are the top 2 that will indicate a very big movement in the market. So looking for those to help us with the Qs and the SPY with our direction. Now we did have Unity Software again accelerate up today. We're about to hit that 161 EMA on the 45-minute chart. Looking to see if this is going to continue in the downward direction. We have been in consolidation mode since May 12th. not really going one way or the other. So looking for a clear direction on this one. AMD today continued up, a little pop up above 83, almost $1.50, a nice one there if you like to trade AMD. Is this going to come back down and close our gap later in the day if we start to see that those Qs and SPY stocks start to pull back? We very well could see that happen. AMD had a nice pop as well. Once Apple said that they no longer, oh, but they're going to be using Qualcomm, so disregard that. All right, Oxy had a new contract announcement come out with the UK today. So we did see a pop right at the open with that news happen. We have volume descending. Is this going to roll over here or continue to the downside? We're in between the moving averages. So looking to see, are we breaking down below 59.80? If so, would look for a test of the close today. We did break out of the downward trend. So first day out of the downward trend. Are we going to have that high volume to have confirmation with this move? Bank of America reported earnings today. They had negative earnings and a pop into open, looking to sell down. Look, this is a former dark pool print level, 33.29, really acting as resistance there. Looking to see, are we going to close below 31.80 and continue to move to the downside here? They popped it up, took some profits, potentially sold into that run up, and now it is continuing to move down. Would look for further highs if this is going to move to the upside 3 days afterwards. If we don't break a new high after 3 days, in my opinion, this is going to be heading back down. Sophie, an online credit system. I didn't even know what this was until I went to the States back in March, and then I saw all the ads for Sophie, the refinancing of debt. So it's no surprise. I'm actually surprised that they are not seeing more people move into this, especially with interest rates rising. So maybe this is the end of the downward trend and continued move to the upside. Earlier today, I actually said, hey, I think we're going to head up to 650 on that, and like we did this morning. XPEV was breaking out of a downward trend. However, today it is continuing to reject that trend. So it was a continue to sell off of that trend line. Nice move to the downside with 70 cents right at open. And now it's potential to head back down there later, but continuing this downward trend at this time. We do have bigger volume. So curious to see if we close up above 29, in particular up above 29.20. NRGD, very rarely do I have a gas ETF or ETN on here as one to trade. So NRGD is the bear NRGU. Really, it has low resolution. My stream health is looking excellent. So maybe it's on your end, rocking me. But thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Anyone else having resolution issues? Put it in the chat. Thanks, rocking me. All right, so this has continued to move to the downside, a little bounce and then a rollover. Are we going to see a surplus in oil? I would heavily watch oil this week and gas in relation to Putin shutting down potentially further gas. Really weird. Further gas numbers as well. And you know what I'm going to do? Because I see that this is hidden right there. Let me scroll that up so you guys don't have that hidden by the logo. All right. GD, the final one on the list today, General Dynamics. Nice continuation move to the downside off of $212.40, $4, or, nice move, 0.5% there. Do you guys have any stocks in particular that you want to look at? I will also touch on Ripple. Ripple last week had major volume on Thursday. We had Jed McCaleb, that used to be the VP, that sold off all of his coins, 9 billion coins, and the price did not drop. In fact, it broke out of this downward wedge, descending wedge, and we broke to the upside. So we have tested over here. We did test the 0.367 today. All right, hopefully I caught it and you guys didn't hear that. if the settings are correct. I'm sorry if I sneezed in your ears. I tried to mute it. All right. So looking for this to break above 0.375. Yeah, I'll check it out, Walton. Oh, I was wondering where you were this morning, Golden Boy. You got to tell everybody that's watching. Should they join us in the morning? Should they join as a member and subscriber to join the live streams every morning? We've got Golden Boy and Brenda in there and 2 others. We have a great time. Lots of tips besides what I'm seeing in the market, right? Lots of good stuff there. Okay, so let's look at LNG, long core gold. Yeah, you know what? We did have, oh no, sorry, Cheniere Energy. Yep. Is this the right one, Walton? I would look for a close above 130, in my opinion, with higher volume. Look, we still have descending volume here, right? On the volume chart. Hold on. They put that on the, they put on the stock chart. Okay, let's put this down here, right? So we need to have that volume sort of move to the upside with the stock. Right now, this is a 24 EMA. I like to use that as a potential for exiting, right? If it's testing it and we're coming up to it, I need to have the confirmed close. Let's check it on a weekly. Yeah, it's testing it on a weekly too. On a weekly, I'd still like to see it up above 130 as well. You can see even, let's put on a monthly. So monthly 125.43 and 131. So monthly, I would be even more confirmed above 131 instead of 130.50, right? When we look at it back here, March, April was the turnaround. So we're going against this past year, right? 2 years ago. How about last year? Last year, July, it was a sideways month, and then August was more definitive. So in my opinion, looking at this, might want to wait until August, because this could be a little bit of a correction, right? We didn't come all the way down there. What did this do for fun back here, right? Look, it had a massive crash when the market was still moving up. And 2007, yeah, we had a bigger drawdown. So we're kind of in this area with the market. So I would wait. You don't want to get caught right here, right? And then have that move happen against you. So I would wait personally for more confirmation that this is moving to the upside, in my opinion. All right, I hope that helps. And let's look at CLF. Yep. And we're also going to look at the futures for the metals, because right now it seems like maybe, just maybe, the big guys are getting back in at the bottom, waiting for that confirmation, but seeing some movement in the dark pools for gold, silver, and copper. So we're going to watch those this week. CLF right now, yeah, look, let's do this. Let's throw on a little rectangle, Michael. Let's see right here, right? We want to have that proof. We've been going sideways since this doji, the 22nd of June. I would wait for a move above 1606, right? I would wait for that move. Confirmation. This could be, we could move up here and then test up here and then sell off again into earnings. This has projected earning estimate. Maybe they're building that into the price right now. Maybe they're loading up right now because they anticipate great earnings. When we look back, they had good earnings last quarter, but it still tanked, right? So earnings doesn't necessarily mean anything. Look at it technically. Wherever they want to take it, they're going to take it. Oh yeah, looking for those to either go above, that's all good, Golden Boy, either go above 21 and I would short the market, likely come up here to 26, 27, or if it goes below 18, then the market's going to rip higher. So I'm watching that overall to see where the market's going to go. Look at how long we have actually gone sideways, right? This has been going sideways since the 24th of June. So until we get a bigger move, just sitting on it, right? Why struggle with them when they are placing positions? All right, let's look at the weekly on the silver futures. All right, here we go. Silver futures right here, weekly. Look, we're just starting to have a little bit of more momentum. Let's look at a daily. I think we got a little bit more upside on the daily. There we go. We got 2 green up candles. If this were to break above the high of this one, 1918, likely good move there to move up. Then they're done with this big sell-off for March. If we can break above 1918, 1920, in my opinion, right? This is all my opinion. Don't take it as gospel, right? All right. Gold futures. Let's look at this. Similar, but we've had big volume. We had big volume 3 days ago, pretty much on all these. So we would need to break above that. We need to break above 1735 for gold for me to be confident that they are done. Now you can see right here, we did have this 161 act as resistance and 200 right here. So if we go above 1735, I'd look to see if it's going to break above 1840, right? Then I would say, all right, we broke above it. Then they're using it as support. Let's ride this on up to 2400. Also copper. Copper had big discounting that happened, right? Huge discounting that happened. Look at all this big volume here. Big volume here, big volume here, more big volume here. So the highest is 645, 65, but that's not the one that I wanted. I wanted the COMEX one. There we go. Much better. This is the price per pound. All right. So we had big volume here and big volume. We're starting to, you can see there's a little reversal that's setting up here. I'd have that confirmation up above 356, 360, 100% confirmation. And then we're going to move more to the upside. So you can see we've had a big discounting on a lot of these. Palladium is the one that had the biggest discounting on it. Palladium futures here. This was down 47%. Not inexpensive, right? We're testing potentially a double bottom. It looks like it found support back here before at 1800. We came down to 1835 and a bit of a bounce. So, and look at how this 200 and 161 EMAs were resistance. So heavily watching metals this week, keeping an eye on banks. Are the banks going to shut their doors like they did in China? No one ever thinks it's going to happen until it does. Interact went down, which is the tap pay system here in Canada, a week and a half ago now. Nobody was prepared with cash. So in my opinion, some cash is good. Safety deposit boxes, keep, in my opinion, safely in a giant safe that you cannot pick up out of your house. And Uber, let's check out Uber today as well. I put Uber on there. Uber looks like it has based out and potentially setting up for a bigger move. This could be a move pre-earnings, right? I would like to see it. Oops, wrong one. I meant to click on this one here. So I'd like to see that this closes up above the high here of 23.50, right? We're not far away. We might have a 40-cent move to test that, and we will see if this continues to move. We have a bit of descending volume going up, so maybe they're selling into that. Yeah, let's check out Tesla for you, Terry. That's right, you always love checking Tesla. I see a bit of a wedge, right? Besides this right here, let's get rid of this. Let's do this, right? This day right here, just delete this. So we're hanging out over here and a bit of a wedge. If we wanted to tighten this up even more, put it right there. Maybe we're going to come and test 762.50 area, and we'll see. It's a bit of an equilateral, right? But it seems like we're moving up. We haven't tested this. It was heavier selling pressure. Now we're going to see, are we going to slow here, and then it'll be a bit of a head and shoulders, right? It's cool how you can see so many different patterns, but we could be setting up a bit of a head and shoulders right here too. Of course, if it closes up above and we test this, then nope, it broke out of that head and shoulders trend, right? So this might be setting up for a more of a downward move with earnings coming up. 185 estimate on the 20th. So keep that in mind. It could be pre-earnings momentum move on the stock. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Have an amazing rest of your day. Carpe profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. Come and join me as a subscriber to my channel. And you can join me live every morning while I do my watch list, 8 a.m. during the summer, and it is 8:15 during the school year. All right, have a great day. See you soon. Bye.